listeners. Welcome to Plano's Political Pitbull podcast. I am Esther.
And I'm Ruth.
And we are back on this Olympic and Super Bowl weekend. We took a week off due to problems with my voice I was having. I may still crack every now and then or go hoarse a little bit, so please bear with me. But before we get started with today's show, our sponsor is Southwest Pain Management. Southwest Pain Management takes care of most chronic pain without pain pills. Their goal is to get you back to doing the things you love. They are also the world's leading long COVID experts. Dr. Groisman sees people from all over the world to treat their long COVID. Southwest Pain Management is in Plano. Please go to their website, reliefbeginshere.com. That's reliefbeginshere.com to see all that they do. So the results are in. And we would like to wish the new Plano City Council woman a congratulations. Dr. Shawn Thomas won her city council race to replace the outgoing Julie Homer, who wants to run for Commissioner's Court. Dr. Thomas got 59.56% of the vote, and Colleen Aguilar-Epstein got 40.44%. Now we wish Dr. Thomas good luck and hope that she is not just like everyone else currently on council. We hope that she doesn't follow the herd, but acts with her own mind and her own brain, and is not a lemming. You know what the real tragedy of the election results were, Ruth?
What?
The real tragedy of this special election was that only 10,293 people voted out of a city of almost 300,000. Now, granted, you could take half that number and make it for people who are under the age of 18 or just simply not eligible to vote for whatever reason. So let's say at least half of the population in Plano can vote and is registered to vote. 10,293 people decided what was best for a city of almost 300,000 people.
Are we really all that surprised?
I am always surprised that people do not go and vote and take something so sacred, a solemn duty, especially women. You know, we didn't get the right to vote automatically. All right? It depended on the state you lived in the beginning. A lot of it depended on whether or not you owned property. And then slowly over the years, laws changed. And it was only with an amendment to the Constitution that every United States citizen who is a woman got the right to vote in the 1920s.
The only thing is, so local elections already get low turnout. And if there's a runoff, it's even lower turnout. This is a special election. So, would that be about the same turnout as a runoff or less?
Less.
There you go.
It's less than a runoff. And do you know how much this race cost us?
I believe you've told me before.
I'm going to tell you again. So the tally for this election was $225,000. That is the amount the city council approved for this election? All because Julie Homer wanted to run for higher office and decided too late for her spot to go on the May 2025 ballot.
You're not going to let that go.
No, I am not letting that go. Okay, I am not letting that go. She is wrong in what she did.
Okay, just promise me you're not going to hold it as a grudge for like 4 years straight.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Promise me.
I don't understand what the problem was. Number one, why didn't people, if they didn't know there was an election, how did you not miss the signs? But okay, maybe they didn't know. How did you not know? Number one. Number two, if you did know, why didn't you go and vote? You had one race to look up, 2 people. We told you about the election. We told you to do your own homework. Told you about the candidates. If you didn't go vote, I would love to know why you didn't go vote. Do you know the other odd thing that happened in that election?
What?
14 people undervoted. Now, what's an undervote, you may be asking?
No, I know what an undervote is.
I know you know what an undervote is, but maybe our listeners don't. An undervote is when somebody skips a race and doesn't vote for any candidate in that race. Here's the issue. There was only one race on the ballot. So 14 people went to the polls, got a ballot, didn't fill it out, and then fed it into the scanning machine to tally it. And that was...
Wasn't there also one person who filled in both?
Yes, there was one overvote.
I wonder if that was just a mistake, because remember, these are the, when you take a standardized test,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yes.
got the bubbles to fill in.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, if you're not careful, it's gonna read as
2.
as 2
Yeah.
or none.
Right.
That could have also happened.
Well, no. The only way an overvote can happen is if somebody voted in both races. I mean, for both people.
No, I meant the undervotes.
Oh, yes. That could be another thing. Maybe it didn't register because you're now doing this by hand, filling in the bubble. And if you mess up, or if you don't press hard enough, or
fill it in all the way,
you're now an undervote. So yeah, that's an issue. I
hate those things.
Yeah, I know. What I would like to do is, they still have the electronic voting and the paper for that there. I would like to know if maybe we could give people a choice. Would you like to vote, fill in the bubble yourself, or would you like to vote via, or have the machine do it for you? And see which people want. That could be an idea. So here's an idea I had. I was actually, it wasn't an idea I had, it was an idea that somebody gave me. I think that if a council member resigns before their term is up because they want to seek higher office, this is only for people who want to seek higher office. If they are sick and can't fulfill their duties, if they die, if they, for any reason, just can't fulfill the role, if they have to move out of the city or out of their district for whatever reason, this does not apply. This is only for people who want to seek higher office and have to have a special election. That will cost Plano extra money. People like Shelby Williams, who did it the right way, who resigned when there was an upcoming local election already planned and didn't cost us a dime. All he had to do was put his place on the ballot. Doesn't apply. This is only for people who cost us money, all right? Because they want to seek a higher office for very selfish reasons in my view. That person needs to pay for the election. What? Nope. You don't have anything to say about that?
I think you're just going on another rant about money.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And what else could we have done with it? And it's money that was not budgeted.
I know, but how many times have you ranted about this? I'm getting tired.
I'm sorry.
There's not much more to say.
I think it's a good idea, though. Let them pay for it. And speaking of something we have to pay for, there will be a DART update tomorrow, Monday, February 9th, at the City Council preliminary meeting. Also, in the general meeting, the regular meeting starts at 7, the preliminary starts at 5. So at the general meeting, they are going to discuss and vote on an item. It is item number 2 on the agenda, and it is to approve a contract with VIA for an alternative transit service for 6 months with a 1-year automatic renewals. And the initial expense is going to be $3,952,247. And in addition, there's an estimate of an amount of $8 million for each subsequent renewals for VIA. So what does this all mean? So they've decided to go with VIA as a alternative means of transit from DART. This is a type of ride-sharing service. And they're going to first do 6-month contract for a little over, or I should say almost $4 million for 6 months. If all goes well, I guess, and if these residents vote to leave DART, then it'll be $8 million for the next 3 years. I'm foreseeing this going to be a very crowded city council meeting tomorrow, Monday, February 9th, 7 p.m. I don't know much about VIA. I think they do Arlington's transportation because Arlington doesn't have any mass public transit. They do this. So hopefully this pilot program comes out. If it goes smoothly, if it works, maybe people will like it better and we'll vote out a DART. If it fails miserably, if the people don't like it, they're going to stay on DART. Now I'm going to move on to a little comic relief because I have something totally ridiculous. So at the January 12th City Council meeting, the City Council approved an expense of $581,200 $96. Not for sidewalks, not for police, not for the fire department. No, nothing as valuable as that. This expense is for a 15-foot tall monument with a statue of a bronze eagle on top of a pillar as a monument to Ross Perot, who was a billionaire, whose family has inherited a lot of money. Now, good news, the Perot family will pay for the eagle. Isn't that nice of them?
Just the eagle?
Just the eagle, yeah. The bronze eagle. But Plano will fork over for the pillar that the eagle will sit on. So almost $600,000, more than $500,000 for a 15-foot pedestal to give homage to a billionaire. He was a very nice man, I'm sure. But still, his family inherited billions of dollars. They could probably have forked over for the pillar as well as the statue of the eagle. You look perplexed.
I'm trying to ask a question, you're not letting me.
Go ahead.
Who is this person and why do we care about him enough to build a monument?
Okay. So Ross Perot was a very successful businessman. He, as I had said in another episode, he ran for President of the United States in 1992. He was sort of the upset to George W. Bush, some people say. No, not W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, George Sr. And some people ascertain that he is the reason Clinton won in the end.
This doesn't tell you why we like him enough to build a statue.
So why do we in Plano want to build him a statue? So Ross Perot owned a lot of land in Plano, or he bought up a lot of land in Plano. Granite Park, where a lot of the Fortune 500 companies are located, was Ross Perot's brainchild. He saw that in the future and that Plano could really become a magnet for big businesses. And so I guess Plano has decided that it will honor him with a statue of a very tall pedestal with an eagle on top, and it will sit in front of at the beginning of the pedestrian bridge that connects Legacy to Legacy West. I think he also might have had something to do with Legacy and all that, all those businesses over there. Now, obviously, Legacy West he had nothing to do with because he was long dead by the time Legacy West was built. That is the short reason why they want to honor him with a statue of an eagle in front of a pedestrian bridge, or at the beginning of a pedestrian bridge.
And everyone will wonder, why is that there?
Well, one council person asked if there's going to be some kind of plaque explaining who Ross Perot was and why this statue is here. I honestly do not understand why no one said, Why are we doing this? Ross Perot was a great guy. He really was very patriotic. He did a lot of good things. The Perot family is also a very nice family. They helped donate money for the Perot Science Museum. That's down in Dallas. This is unnecessary. This gives a new meaning to pork barrel spending. And no one questioned it. Not only did no one question it, it passed 8-0.
Oh, they all loved it. They're like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. It's not our money we got to worry about.
What equipment could that have bought for EMS? What? The fire department? Why is this coming up? Was this in the budget? I don't remember seeing this line item in the budget. $600,000 for a statue. Where is this money coming from in the budget? It wasn't really clear in the agenda. Is there a monuments line item in the budget that I don't know about? Because if there is, it should come out. This is what I mean by local government gets away with murder. Could you imagine the state government or the federal government saying, yeah, we want to build a statue to Ross Perot, and of course if it was the federal government, it'd be millions. Just unbelievable. Now on to something that I just learned about right before we came to record this episode. So this is also going to be on the agenda for tomorrow's meeting. It will be on the consent agenda because, God forbid, it should be a line item, an actual agenda item. We have an economic development incentive agreement that will be voted on tomorrow. And it is for Integra One LLC, a Texas limited liability company. They are going to get $450,000, which will leave the Economic Development Fund with a whopping $52,635,404 available in it. So what do we get? Or what does... Well, we get nothing. What does the company need to do for the almost $500,000? They need to just occupy a minimum of 26,000 square feet of office space. Doesn't say they have to improve it. In the memo here that I'm reading from, which I got off of the city's very own website, just says they have to occupy it at 5525 Granite Parkway in Plano, and they have to transfer, retain, or create up to 60 full-time jobs by December 31st of this year. They don't even have to create new jobs. They just have to keep their existing employees, at least 60 of them. They could fire everybody else. They just have to keep 60, and they get the money. I calculated that's about $7,500 per employee. So who is this company? They are a Pennsylvania-based IT infrastructure and managed services provider, They were founded in 1990, and they specialize in cybersecurity, networking, data center, and technical support. And they serve the eastern United States with certified engineers providing cloud solutions, LOT implementation, and hardware repairs, according to the internet. They make roughly $21.9 million a year. They're a private company, so couldn't find out how much they're worth or what their shares go for because they're not publicly traded from my research. So a company that makes $21 million a year is getting almost $500,000 to keep 60 employees and move. Just move. I don't have to update the building. You just got to move to the building over in the Granite Park district. Isn't that so nice? No, not nice. So that's coming up tomorrow. And it's on the consent agenda, so it's likely to pass. I don't think anybody's going to be there taking it off. People have tried and failed.
Has anything not been passed? It feels like they've just been passing everything that comes to them.
When an economic development agreement comes...
I'm not even talking just like economic development. I'm talking anything.
Oh. Ever or like this year?
This council. Not including the
new one. Well, this current council, not including Dr. Thomas, is fairly new. They only go back from May of last year. So
that's still a lot. That's
not a long time. Yeah. To my memory, I'm going to say, no, nothing has failed. And something like this, an economic development agreement, generally, if it gets to council's meetings, open meetings, then all the details have been worked out and it's going to pass, because this is one thing they can talk about behind closed doors altogether.
I was just curious because it's been
half a year.
Yeah, half a year.
And
I was curious if it doesn't seem like anything has ever failed.
Not off the top of my head, no. I cannot remember any agenda item failing. This council has...
If anything, has anyone even voted no once?
Ooh. So I would have to look that up.
Because a lot of times the last one you'd have like 2-6. You know?
Yeah. I don't know for sure. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say it's probably been 8-0, but I would have to double check that, which I can because I take notes.
You're just curious.
On all the votes.
That would be very interesting.
And I keep track of them. Yeah. When Shelby and Anthony were on council, and even, with Rick Smith, sometimes you'd get at least 3 dissenters.
Sometimes you would even get 4.
Yeah. Well, if you got 4, then the item failed because it's a tie, and there's no tiebreakers. Mm-hmm. So the item would fail. But I would say when the majority of the time you got a lot of 2 to 6, 3 to 5. So there was some dissenting voices, but yeah, for the past 6 months, I can't think of any dissenting voices on this council, and that's scary. That's not good. You want some dissenters. Again, this is not supposed to be a hive mind. If you're going to all be unanimous all the time, then we don't need 8 people up there. Throw everybody out, keep the mayor, and make him full-time. Because if you're all just going to vote all in agreement, we don't really need that. You're up there. There's more than one of you to be able to talk and discuss and give better ideas, not just constantly be like the Borg all the time. That's kind of what I feel like sometimes is up there. And a lot of the in the training sessions that these council people get and school board from staff and from these municipal leagues and Board of Ed leagues, they want unanimous votes. They want everybody to vote the same. And I don't know, somebody raise your hand and say, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not just going to vote so we can have 8-0 votes and majorities. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to represent the constituents, the residents of Plano, not to represent council, not to represent any board or commission. You're there to represent your residents. And sometimes I get the feeling that city council forgets that. And even school board. And a lot of these boards and commissions. So tomorrow's meeting will be very interesting, it sounds like. So you can go to it, or if you're like me and like to watch it at home, because I like to pause it, yell at it sometimes, take notes, mostly yell at them. You can see it on the website for the city. You can see it on the city's YouTube channel. Yes, the city has a YouTube channel. Or you can watch it live at night on the city's television channel. That depends on your cable provider.
And you could shout at them, "Speak! Somebody say something!" You're crying out loud.
Yeah. I miss Shelby and Anthony a lot. And even Rick. This council is still very quiet.
And boring.
Yes. Alrighty. Well, we have our puppy, Thor. I hope you're enjoying the puppy bowl today.
I forgot to watch Puppy Bowl.
It's probably still on.
I have my chance. Okay. Let's wrap this up so I can go watch it. All right. Thor. Such a nice, strong name. Thor is a friendly boy who is about 2 years of age and very playful with children. He's active when he plays, so may be best in a home without young children. So older children.
Mm-hmm.
Thor was very excited for his first Pups in the Park walk. He had a lot of energy as he left his kennel, but settled down quickly. He was very patient while being harnessed in lobby of the shelter and loaded into the car without issue. Thor rode well in the car and was very relaxed. He walked well on a leash and got along well with all the other dogs in the group. Thor exhibited no prey drive while encountering birds and squirrels along the walk. Aw, sweet calm boy.
Mm-hmm. So if you would like to find out more about Mr. Thor, please go to our website, www.planospoliticalpitbull.com, to find out more about him. You click on the link Pitbulls for Adoption. And there is an adorable picture of Thor on our website. That is all for us today. Like, share, and subscribe. Please help us with those algorithms. This is Esther
And this is Ruth.
for Plano's Political Pitbulls, signing off.